Hey Village, welcome back to 20 Yvette Speaks. This is your host, 20 Yvette, and for the next few minutes, we are going to be talking about one of the top stories in the news, so stay tuned. You kill grandson of Sweetie Pie's TV star? This article is by Aaron Heffernan, and the article started on September 4th, 2020. I've been kind of reading this back and forth, studying this, and I understand where the actual editor's notes are. So I'm going to try to break this down. It was a speculation, if I can start with that. It was a speculation and or we thought a lie that occurred from Tim about the $200,000. In fact, they have found this to be true, that money actually was missing. The editor's notes begin like this: this story has been updated to correct that the actual theft of the $200,000 occurred at the home of Robbie Montgomery. So this is a fact. It is not a speculation anymore. It is not a lie that Tim told. This is actually true. The story has been updated to correct that the theft of $200,000 occurred at the home of Robbie Montgomery. Now, I'm going to add a little commentary right here. If you watched Sweetie Pie's show, you guys already know that Miss Robbie, along with, others, Tim included, Charles, I noticed he did it one time. They would take the money at the end of the day and go to the bank after your shift. After everything is closed down, you take and you drop off the money. If you've worked in a mall or a restaurant or anything, you may have been in that situation, how you buddy up, you pair up with you and somebody else, and you drop that money off at the bank and keep it rolling so that you're, safe, and you know what I'm saying? Now, Miss Robbie has been seen with the bank bag on the show several times. She would just go home. I'm tired. I'll go home. I'll drop the money off in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And so this is not uncommon for Miss Robbie to have done that. She would literally just take the money and go home, and, I don't know if she had a safe. I don't know where she would put it when she got home. But the next morning, let's drop the money off on the way to work. So it is not uncommon for Miss Robbie to have $200,000 in the house. Now, I'm going to read this, and I want you guys to pay close attention to this, okay? A St. Louis police detective's testimony in a Tennessee courtroom the week that they went, revealed new details in what authorities have described as a murder-for-hire plot to kill the grandson of reality TV star and Sweetie Pie's owner, Robbie Montgomery. Detective Ronald Thurmond gave testimony that Wednesday in a virtual bail hearing for Terica Ellis, which is 36 years old, of Memphis, Tennessee, one of 3 accused in the March 2016 plot to kill 21-year-old Andre Montgomery Jr. The victim's uncle, James Timothy Norman, 41 years of age, is also charged with orchestrating the death. Norman and Andre Montgomery both appeared alongside family matriarch and soul food restaurateur Robbie Montgomery in the reality show Welcome to Sweetie Pies, which ran for 5 seasons on OWN. Alright, I'm going to stop right here. I kind of put a pin right here because I needed to do some research to try to find out if Tim Norman was back on the books, because remember I told you last week I couldn't find him, didn't know when he was going to court. He's still not on any of the book's public records. So when you search the public record, he's not in Tennessee. He's not in St. Louis. He's not in Mississippi. So I don't know where, he would be held. I don't know if they're doing this on purpose, or they just didn't put his name on the books because, I don't know. I'm speculating right now because the only way I can find out, or any reporter can find out, when his court date is, or his arraignment, or his, his anything, is if his name is down saying that he is incarcerated at such and such a place, if that makes sense to you. So when this first started and he got arrested, I clearly found out everything I needed to know when I started following this story, because his name was on the books in Mississippi. And then all of a sudden, this guy just disappears. So I am under the assumption that they're doing this on purpose. Maybe he is causing too much attention. Not a whole lot of activity goes on with media and stuff like that in Mississippi. So I'm assuming that. I don't really know. But I know you guys are going to let me know what you think in the comments. All right, let's get down to, I'm going to scroll down to where some more corrections are so you guys can understand this. Okay, Detective Thurman's testimony publicly revealed for the first time that Andre Montgomery was a suspect. He was a suspect in the theft of $200,000 in cash from the home of his grandmother, Robbie Montgomery, prosecutors confirmed. Now, let me read this again. Thurman's testimony publicly revealed for the first time that Andre Montgomery was a suspect. He was just a suspect. It was not confirmed that he actually did take the money. Terica Ellis said Tim told her, hey, Andre took money from my mother's home. So when Terica said her part, after she found out she's not getting out on bail, follow me now, she's not getting out on bail, so now she wants to sing like a canary because she knows she's in big trouble. Tim told me that, hey, Andre took money from his mom's house, and that's why Tim's boys wanted to get up on him. She never said the actual amount of $200,000. She said, Tim told me money was missing. So let me scroll down here and give you guys the 411 on that. Thurman, the detective, added that Norman's alleged accomplice, which is Terica Ellis, she told investigators she knew the theft made Norman's boys want to get up on Andre Montgomery. Norman is Robbie Montgomery's son. So Terica never gave a dollar amount. You see what I'm saying? There was some confusion because I was I was reading you guys' comments and I was like, some of this stuff, you're right, there's some holes in here somewhere. Now, I don't know if she did that on purpose or if Tim actually, said in those words. But what we now know for sure is that there was indeed an investigation about this $200,000, and that the investigator, Mr. Thurman, his testimony publicly revealed for the first time when Terica went to court that Andre Montgomery was just a suspect in the theft of the $200,000. Now, he was already a suspect before Terica Ellis told the investigators she knew about some money being missing. So that must have meant that this $200,000 in cash that went missing from Robbie Montgomery's house had to have been reported. So now the question is, did Robbie Montgomery report this missing, or did Tim? Because remember now, and one of you made very clear that Andre was living there at the house. So if the timeline matches up and Andre was actually living in the house, it would have been really strange for him to take $200,000. Now, somebody else in the comments said, no, I don't think Andre was living there. I think he went back to Texas. Not either way, that wouldn't make much sense now, would it? If Andre was back in Texas, he can't steal anything. He's too far away. And then on the other hand, if he was living there, there would be no need for him to break in. He was living there. His room was the room with the 2 beds. Was it bunk beds or whatever? So he was there. He was right there living in the house. So he was one or two places, you guys. He was either in Texas with his family or he was living with Robbie at the time. If you've seen the show, if you've seen that actual episode, let's get together and do like a timeline and see exactly where Andre was at. Now, the implication that it could have been Andre most definitely sounds like it came from Tim, because he wasn't, nobody even said anything to Andre about it. You understand? Thurman said that Andre was merely a suspect. Nobody talked to him about $200,000 missing yet. It was under investigation. Do you understand what I'm saying? So somebody had to know, and somebody had to put that $200,000 amount. They had to put it somewhere. They had to report it. Because Terica never said it. I'm looking at it right now. She never said the dollar amount. All she said was, and I quote, Ellis told investigators she knew of a theft and it made Norman's boys want to get up on Andre Montgomery. Thurman never said, not one time, the detectives never said not one time that she actually knew how much money was missing. All she knew is what Tim told her. All right, that right there. Boy, I'm telling you, this thing is so wrapped up. You guys, you know what I think? I kind of feel like Tim Norman has really set up a whole bunch of misinformation and some lies up and through. This is so twisted and oh my God. Okay, let me move on. Somebody asked me in the comments yesterday, what was the connection? How do these people know Terica Ellis? I'm going to go down and I'm going to see if I can find that information. So right here, Detective Thurman also testified on the stand that Norman offered Ellis $10,000 to secure the location, which means later on she kept $1,000 and she deposited the $9,000 in different locations. Because down here it says federal charging documents say in the days after the shooting, Ellis deposited more than $9,000 cash into several bank accounts. You see what I'm saying? And then later on we found out that it was at least 3 bank accounts that Terica Ellis deposited $9,000. But going on up, Norman offered Ellis $10,000. In another article it says she said she was promised $10,000, which means she probably kept $1,000 to blow or go shopping or whatever, and then the $9,000 was, put in the 3 different banks of her choice, because that was her money. That was now her money. And remember, she's just, she's a dancer. It says she worked for a time as a dancer at the Metro East Strip Club, bottoms up. I don't know how much money she was making, or whatever, but that right there is where she met Tim. Do we know if she met Andre there? Not really sure. I was under the impression that she could have met Andre, maybe at work, because her face, I remember her face on one of the episodes. Tim was opening up a restaurant, and I remember that face when I saw her in the newspapers. I was like, yep. And then somebody else confirmed. I'm not sure if it was Waffle's mom, but one of my viewers, one of you guys said, yeah, that's her. And so there's, all different types of ways they could have met, especially if she was hanging around, because according to her and Tim had an on and off relationship. So Andre could have, met her anytime during filming, or if he visited the strip club Bottoms Up, they could have ran it into each other. Not sure. But it is quite obvious that she knew Andre, which is how she lured him outside the night that he was shot. Norman is accused of then trying to collect on several life insurance policies, which we know to be true. Now, let me get this straight, because somebody asked this question and I put a pin in this. Norman was listed as the sole beneficiary of the policies, which is plural, worth $450,000, federal prosecutor said in charging documents. And then there is an asterisk right here, because Wally Yanum, or whatever his name is, the insurance guy, he's 42 years old. Of course, he was charged, and you guys know that he got his own lawyer and he got out on bail. Now, this guy is named in red in this updated version, the only life insurance guy that actually helped Tim. So Tim goes to a regular, run-of-the-mill place. They wouldn't give him the time of day. He needed Andre to be there to sign his own name on the documents or whatever. And then some type of way, he knows, quote-unquote, Wally. That's what they call him. Norman was never able to collect the insurance money, and his life insurance agent, Wally, which is YL Wally Yanum, 42 years old, was also charged with one count of conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud. So the thing is, the reason he's going down, I don't care if he did. He's going to do something. They're going to do something to him, because he tried it. He tried it with his boy Tim, and I'm sure Tim said, if you do this for me and I'm able to cash in, then I'm going to break you off a little something. He's not just going to do it for free. And from my understanding, this is not like, Tim Norman's, buddy. They're not best friends. But I like the fact that I was able to find Tim Norman's YouTube channel. He did that music at that same studio. Did you guys know that? When I gave you guys that information, this is the same studio. So Tim did that recording. Wally has, a connection with Tim. He also has a connection with Andre. Wally is like, okay, I'm not in the music game anymore. I'm an insurance agent. So Tim says, look, I know what I can do. I know who can help me. Let me call up my boy Wally. I know him from the studio. He does insurance now. So let me get up with him. Okay? Is it making sense now? Is it making sense to you guys now? Now you can see the relationships of these people. Tim was a frequent customer at Bottoms Up. He also does rap music, so he knows some people. There's no telling who else he could have met between the strip club and the studios, and then the music video. If you saw his video, that means that he knows some other people. Did you see the episode on Sweetie Pie's when Tim and his mom went to the studio, and he was in the studio with his mom and she was doing music. And did anybody on that episode look familiar to you guys? Was Wally in the room at that particular time? I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and look at this video again and see. But listen, it's all coming together. It's all making sense. And as these documents and as these articles are updated, these are just like little small updates, you know what I'm saying? But it makes a huge difference because a lot of you guys had really legitimate questions. You had legitimate questions. How do they know each other? And what, how did he know to go to Wally and get this done and this, that, and the third? I'm telling you, it's all coming together. It's all making sense, and everybody is updating their stuff as little tidbits unfold. The only thing right now is, where is Tim, and why did they take his name off of the books? He should be able to, be found. And as soon as I know anything of his whereabouts, trust me, I will be back and I will let you guys know. All right. So I'm glad I was able to bring this tidbit of information to you guys. Like I said, it's a small, it's small. But when you have great reporters like Aaron Heffernan and, different, because you can look at TMZ and they are good, but the follow up, has to be great, because as things occur and as documents are made public, as in public record, there could have been something that, she said or he said, now that wasn't back then, and it makes a world of difference. And just knowing that, hey, this $200,000 was not a hoax, it wasn't a lie from Tim, it actually really did happen. It's like, oh, in order for Andre to be a suspect, this actually had to occur. And it wasn't, Tim saying, hey, there was money missing. No, somebody actually reported this, and it was, a real deal. Like, it was confirmed. $200,000 was missing from Robbie Montgomery's home. Somebody had to have reported that. 9 times out of 10, I'll say it's Miss Robbie, because it's her home. Otherwise, there would have been a whole, this thing could have went all wrong. How do you know that $200,000 was missing from Miss Robbie's home? What did you have to do with it? So, you know what I'm saying? It just made sense. And the fact that Terica didn't have a dollar amount of what was missing from the home lets me further know that, Tim was just putting his spin on it. If you ask me, he was just, well, let me pad this lie right quick because I got to make it sound good, because then Terica's going to be on my side and I can get her to do whatever. Terica. What are your children? Okay, somebody did tell me that Terica Ellis's children were with her mother. So Terica's mom has her children. Oh, but this is just horrible. I hate that this girl got hoodwinked by this man. And I really, really hate that Tim Norman looks so guilty right now. Like, every fiber of my being is almost saying, yeah, he's guilty. He did it. The creepy smile on the mugshot and all the evidence just keeps piling up. And I just don't know. You guys, this is just, I feel for everybody. I feel for Andre's mom. I feel for Miss Robbie. I feel for all the children that are affected. Terica's 2 kids and Tim's children. Like, this is crazy. This is absolutely insane. Everybody that was connected to Andre is just like hurting all over again. And you would think this would give, some relief. But until all the facts come out, it's not. It's like Andre's sister said, it's like we're reliving it all over again. And I feel so bad for everyone that's affected. But I'm going to stay on top of the story. I'm glad, I was able to bring this to you guys, even though it was just a little something. Something told me to check my email, and the editor's notes really cleared two things up for us: that this $200,000 was indeed not a hoax or a lie, that it actually happened, and that someone actually reported it in order for the detective, which is Donald Thurman, to be actually investigating this, and that Terica's testimony didn't have a dollar amount in it. She just decided, well, I'm just going to start talking, and that just opened my eyes to a whole nother thing. Yeah. Somebody said, and then I'm gonna go for real, but it just hit me, you guys. Somebody said in the comment section on the second video that what if Tim was the actual shooter? Okay, that's still a possibility, but also keep in mind that they have questioned a suspect that is still nameless, meaning that they have not released the name of this person. So I'm now wondering, could it have been someone that Tim kind of talked into doing this, or did he hire a hitman? There's so many scenarios. There's so many ways this thing could go. It's still a possibility that Tim is, the actual shooter. But until he's put on the stand, or if he talks, if they give him some sort of deal, which I severely doubt, I think Tim is the only person that knows who the shooter is besides the shooter. I don't think Terica knew. If Terica knew, she would have already spilled the beans by now. She would have already said. I think that Tim, even though this was stupid, this whole plan was stupid, he was smart enough not to tell Terica everything. He didn't tell her everything. He just told her enough, to get her antennas up and, thinking. And then when he threw that, $10,000 at her, she probably thought, I've never had that much money before. And she decided to do this, because I can hear Tim in my head, you're not going to get caught. We know what we're doing, and now look. And somebody lost their life. I mean, and I wonder if he's even thinking about this in whatever jail cell he's at. Like, are you thinking about this? This was your nephew. This was your brother's son. I mean, it's horrible. It's horrible. I'm going to stay up on the story, you guys. I promise you, I will not let you down. Any more information that I find, I will definitely report it to you guys ASAP. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys in another video. Bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to Twani Yvette Speaks today. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to check out our other stories on the community tab. And if you have a tip on a story that you would like for me to cover and commentate on, please click on the About section and contact me anytime. Again, thank you so much. And until next time, live on purpose. Bye for now.